if it's historical conservation shophouse, then you can't do rear extension. But it's a secondary conservation, then you can do a rear extension. And that's when you can unlock the value. You can increase GFA, this and that. That's when this is exciting. But another thing, even though you're excited, you need to pay capex money. There's downtime. So that's things that you have to ask yourself, are you willing to go through that process? Because that process, I always tell people that redevelopment is more straightforward than A&A work.
Welcome back to the Find Your Place podcast. I'm your host, Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut, and I'm joined by my co-host,
hey guys, Justin Quek here, CEO of OrangeTee and Thai.
Yeah. And today we have an interesting guest, right? More important is the topic, but I think you have essentially done a lot of stuff within this space. So Eugene, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Eugene. I'm the founder and CEO of The Assembly Place, a co-living company.
Yeah, I just walked past your property the other day.
Were you tempted to go and get a place?
No.
No?
That's why we need to talk about it, right? Yeah. Like what is this co-living thing? Is it another trendy word for like rental that's been cut up? What is this thing all about?
Okay, so for I think earlier, before the filming start, I was just telling Justin that 5 years ago when we started co-living, in fact, co-living was really started out in Singapore around 5 to 6 years ago. So in the past, when you talk to people about co-living, they don't quite understand.
Yeah, room rental, room rental.
They will say room rental, room rental. Why you want to make it so sexy?
Don't need to dress it up, right?
Too much salad dressing,
And so a lot of people say that, also are you trying to do another co-working, but instead of co-working, now you have co-living. That was 5 years ago. Instead of working under co-sharing office space, now you are co-living, within the four walls of a residential estate. So that's how we started out around 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, there was actually quite a few players in the market. So not to mention name, or some of them came, some of them also left, some of them came, some of them got acquired, but we're still around after 5 years. So thank God we're still around. So 5 years on, so I believe that the space has reached a certain stage of maturity. Today, you talk about co-living, I think everyone knows. Even our government, even SLA, they are starting to lease out government site to run as a co-living space, which is unheard of 5 years ago. So I think we are happy as an operator. We know that the co-living has kind of reached acceptance to the public, to the market, as well as it has also become an accommodation class on its own.
Okay.
Just curious, Eugene. So you talk about the market, right? So who's the demand actually at this time for most of the spaces? Spaces?
So based on our data, we have got more than 2,000 keys now across 135 locations in Singapore. That's why Reggie say you walk around.
Yeah, so assembly place, another assembly place. It's everywhere.
So 2,000 keys. So what is interesting based on our data, right? We look at data, right? 95% of them now are actually foreigners.
Okay.
Foreigners.
Okay.
And 65% of them actually are 34 years old and below. Which doesn't come as a surprise because 34 years and below, a lot of them are in their late 20s. Meaning most of them are coming to Singapore for the first time, working in Singapore. Means they are young people, probably in the tech finance world. They come over to Singapore to work. First time in Singapore, so probably shoestring budget. So they don't have the luxury of paying $3,000, $4,000, for accommodation. A lot of them, their pay grade probably around $6,500 to $8,000. So where can they stay? That's when co-living actually kind of sit in nicely for them. Because first time in Singapore, young people, you are very excited. Finally out of the family nest, right?
Freedom.
Finally freedom, meet new people, So got to meet people from the opposite sex, maybe can, instead of going to the app to have Tinder, everything, right? They got to meet people.
This is a live Tinder.
It's a live Tinder.
This is a package deal at Assembly Place.
No.
Yeah, I'm wondering about. I was thinking about the brochure now, right?
This very high
co-living
level.
encompasses all these things.
I hope that I don't get cancelled, after this podcast. So a lot of them come here first time in Singapore. So what's interesting is that they are excited working in Singapore for the first time, but they're also equally excited that they get to meet new people. But the thing about them is that they also got a lot of fear. Firstly, coming to a new for foreign places, young people, last time back in my family, right? Set up our utility, set up our Wi-Fi, all parents do. But now come to Singapore, wow, I've got to figure out how to open SP account.
Yeah.
So in our co-living environment, right, you don't have to. Furniture is all included. Wi-Fi utilities all included.
Plug and play lah.
Plug and play, drag your luggage in, meet new people, nice, comfortable place, safe environment for you to stay.
So the social element is actually quite the interesting part as well, right?
It's very important 5 years on. 5 years ago, when you do co-living, nobody know lah. Nobody know what is
so it was
co-living.
really just about shelter.
Shelter.
Yeah.
But now as the market become more matured and we know who are staying there, our database, then it's very important to curate meaningful community event.
So the software has to keep up with it lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Software, in fact, community building is the DNA of what our company is all about. Because we feel that anyone can actually spend money, spend capex to do up a very nice co-living space.
Yeah.
But what is beneath that is actually the software, which is community building. Because people come and go. So we are always very proud to say that actually our organic growth is actually very strong. We have members who stay with us 6 months, they go back to their home country, they actually spread the word within their community. Say that, hey, when you come to Singapore,
this is a good place.
Yeah, this is a good place to stay.
Wow.
In fact, just a small quiz. 95% of them are foreigners. You make a guess, which nationality top our chart?
Chinese?
No. Reggie, want to try?
Indians?
No.
Vietnamese?
No.
No?
Westerners?
Yeah, so it's in the, okay, just one hint, European country. Which country in Europe? Make a guess.
Which country? French.
Yes, French top our nationality.
Why do you say French? Reggie? Just curious? Oh, the Hantam bola.
Yeah, French. A lot of people were surprised.
Yeah.
French top our chart
Yeah.
in terms of the top nationality.
So if you want to meet a French person, you can stay at Assembly Place.
But please do not anyhow French kiss.
Is that one of the ground rules?
But why?
So why?
What's
So
the
what was
data tells
interesting
you?
is that 2 years ago we got the co-living space in River Valley area.
Okay.
So it's a small space, just a condo unit. So we got 5 rooms, I remember. So happened that there's a group of French who come here to do their EMBA with INSEAD. Yeah. So of course to us, okay, 5 of you want to stay in my space. Okay, we are happy. 5 of you are friends. So we didn't think too much about it. So 5 of them stay with us for 5 months. But every month they actually participated in our monthly community event. So our community event ranges from hiking in Bukit Timah, hiking in MacRitchie. Also, we also got a workshop like teach them how to do kombucha workshop, tiramisu workshop.
And is it like specific to the location that they are at River Valley, or is
No, it's
the enlarged community?
It's enlarged community. So we didn't think too much about it.
I
So
love how you teach the French how to make tiramisu. Although that's an Italian thing, but they are quite close, But anyway, yes, please continue.
So after that, 5 months later, they leave their country. But so what we do not know is that the power of organic growth. I mean, we keep talking about organic growth, right?
Yeah.
In all business. When they go back to their country, the INSEAD community is quite strong.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So
they
beyond the
start,
5 of them.
Yeah, so they start talking, saying, oh, you come to Singapore, no, you stay at the assembly place. So by default, that place in River Valley, every 5
It's the
months
INSEAD campus.
is all French. So it was interesting when we launched our very big asset in Bukit Timah.
Yeah.
Besides Serene Center, where Atlas Coffee is on level 1. It's a 40 rooms co-living building. So when I first launched it last year, February, on the weekend we have our open house. Wow, the French community are all there.
Yeah. The French embassy is just down the road.
All right, so
Yeah.
it was amazing. 35 out of 40 rooms are all rented.
Just
to
from one
French.
weekend?
Just one weekend, we rented pre-lease, all the 35 rooms out of 40 to the French. So that's when we know that we have done something right. Because for them to keep referring their own friends community to come, right, I think we have done something right. So that's when I say that the community building part is very, very important in the co-living space.
Fair. So just to push on that, right? Why the other community never help you spread? Like the
we
French.
Did. Our Chinese community is also quite big, especially our student accommodation. The Chinese and our Vietnamese community is quite big. especially China, right? They banned online learning. So we got this huge influx of Chinese after COVID coming to Singapore to study. So a lot of them is by default the Chinese when the interesting part about the Chinese is a lot of them are students, firstly. Secondly, Singapore will always be their first stop before they head off to US or to UK because familiarity. I send my kid over here, Singapore, at least they can speak Chinese, pick up good English courses, be proficient in speaking English before I send them to UK or to
I know that's what
US,
they do, but I always find it very fascinating. They send their kids here to learn their English.
Yes.
Go
then
off.
after that, they realize actually we speak Singlish.
Yeah. The champo is very strong here. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, so the Chinese is also form a huge community. In fact, French is our top nationality. Second is our Chinese. Third is our German. Yeah. Then fourth is our Indian. Then fifth, Malaysian. So these are our top 5 community under the assembly place.
Okay, interesting. So that is from a user standpoint, right? But from an operator standpoint, what is co-living from an operator point of view?
Okay, so for operator point of view, co-living is firstly, the hardware itself, we got to ensure that the space that we curate need to be visible. So our standard is that all our rooms, you need to have a study table. You need to have a comfortable queen size bed, a study table, as well as a wardrobe, and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is all provided. So that's very important. But outside of the room, we need to have meaningful communal area. So what does that communal area consist of? You can dine there, as well as you also can work there. So we always believe that our co-living space allow our member to also work and stay at the same time. The play element will come in for our community events.
Yeah.
So that's the hardware part of thing. So second thing is about matching of the correct tenant profile. That is very key to ensure that you actually have a very robust community. Example, we always ask a lot of questions. Let's say today, Justin, you come to this asset for viewing. There's a total of 5 rooms. There's already 4 rooms being occupied. So we already know the profile of our four members. So we will ask a bit more question. Imagine the 4 of them, they are vegan. Then we'll ask you a question whereby, hey Justin, are you actually a vegan? Because the 4 of them are actually vegan.
I love my steak.
Yeah, but if you love your steak,
sorry, you're not welcome in that
the
particular
next thing what is going to happen is that there will be conflict. I mean, this is something that we learn.
Yeah.
We have learned.
I thought you were going to say the next thing is I'll recommend you another space where 3 steak lovers.
Which I'm sure they have that data.
Yeah. So we do. I mean, we also learn through the years, right? As operator, what is the thing that sometimes it's a thin fine line, right? We want occupancy.
Yeah.
We want to ensure that the occupancy is always at the optimum.
Of course.
But we also are very mindful that we need to say no to certain tenant. Because it will create more trouble, downstream operational issue, and also our reputation is also at stake. Yeah, so there's one example during COVID, circuit breaker, right? Wow, occupancy rate went down, right? So that was one mistake that I make. And I tell my team and myself that I will never ever make that mistake again. So I remember the asset is in Sophia Road area. There's 5 rooms so it's a whole building. Every floor 1 unit, every unit there's 5 rooms.
Yeah.
So we got 4 young people staying there. They're all students. Then suddenly, the 5th one, we rented to a elderly lady. I mean, nothing wrong with elderly lady.
Yeah.
But lifestyle,
It's true.
the
It's
conflict
true.
clash. Because she end up hoarding the whole kitchen.
Oh.
She placed all her thing on the kitchen. Then she refused to let other people cook. So it's really about, it was a massive conflict that we have to deconflict. So these are things that we will ask a bit more questions. So we also ask ourselves, can they mingle well together? I mean, we do have age gap. Someone 20 over years old staying with a 30 over years old, no conflict. We have to ask a lot of questions.
Sure,
Example, because this elderly lady, she's not working. She's a retiree.
Yeah.
So she's home every day, pretty
Yeah,
much.
she's at
right?
home
She
every
cannot
day.
tahan the students gaming until 2 a.m.
Correct.
That
Yeah,
time,
it's
right?
drinking until 5,
drinking, and then
Yeah.
deep frying all the things, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
these
we're
are
all
complete-
student before, right?
Yeah,
so
so we-
that's the student life, right?
So these are issues that we face. So we tell ourselves that it's very important. We ask a lot more questions and to pair the correct members together.
Fair.
Example, we are always proud to say that our spaces, 95% of them are pet friendly.
Okay.
But pet friendly does not mean that all members love pets.
There are different types of pets as well.
Yeah, let's say dogs.
Yeah.
But so imagine four
I bring a lizard
Four-
in.
Yeah, exactly.
four persons staying there together, very happy. Maybe two of them, are not fan of pets or dogs, right? I allowed the fifth one, to bring a chihuahua in. That's when conflict arises again.
Yeah, and it has to be a chihuahua, lah.
Yeah,
Very
chihuahua,
noisy.
very noisy.
Yeah. But let's kind of break that down a little bit further, right? I understand that there are a few layers, right? There's the hardware side of the capex, and then there's like your kind of funneling system at the top, and then of course there's the matching community, software, DNA. There are different things to building this thing, lah. I mean, like you said, right, 5 years ago, very simple. You just chop it up, right?
Yeah.
And then anybody will come in. But these days, the game is different, right? So from your data set, if we start at the capex level, at the hardware level, what are the things that everybody is expecting? Must you have washing machine, dryer, all these things, like personal log? Is it digital? What? Because you have a whole spread of property, right? You would definitely know what converts first and what is slower. So what is the kind of based on the target audience that you have, right? Which is 95% foreigners, young, looking for a co-living space. What are the must-have one of these few things?
If I can jump in also, don't
Yep.
mind. In adding on to that, so because you have a very complex demographic, also complex locations. So I think what Reggie's asking, or probably is at the baseline level, right? What
Yeah.
are some of the must-haves
Yeah.
if you want to run this co-living business?
Yeah.
But then the intricacies as well. How do you define this area, if it's a pet-friendly one, a vegan area and all that? Some of the more special requirements for some of these other spaces that perhaps you have zoned out for certain select group of demographics.
Okay, so back to the basic first. Like I mentioned earlier, it need to be fully furnished. So I think that is the most basic.
The plug and play thing,
the
right?
plug
Yeah.
and play thing. So washer and dryer, yes, we need to have.
Hmm.
Fridge, we also need to have. And the next question is, how many fridge?
Yes.
How many washer dryer,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So for the assembly place, we got different category, different class of asset. So we got tap light. Light is actually rooms without attached bath. That means it's ready for the someone who is got very shoestring budget. That means I got space as low as from $1,200 per month.
Okay.
No attached bath, but it's still very comfortable. Queen size bed, wardrobe, study table, Wi-Fi utilities included. You want to shower, you go to the shared bathroom. So our SOP is always 2 bed, 2 room to 1.
Oh, that's the ratio that you have.
We always try to maintain that ratio.
Okay, that's good.
We try to maintain that ratio. Then that's the next category will be our tap lux. Tap lux is fundamentally is ensuite room.
Okay.
Yeah, ensuite room. Then you got a tap lux plus. So what is tap lux plus? That means the room itself, you got its own TV, you got your own washer cum dryer, you got your own bar fridge.
You got my own washer cum dryer. That
Yes.
means I don't even need to
That's
leave
like
the
a
room.
service, like a fully serviced apartment.
That's a fully
Self-contained
serviced,
lah, in a way.
self-contained,
Yeah.
but it's still under residential. Minimum stay 3 months.
Yeah.
So why do we have that Lux Plus? Because sometimes we do have an opportunity to actually redevelop, example of shop houses.
Yeah.
So once we are able to redevelop the whole thing, that gives us an opportunity to actually do more.
Yeah.
Make the space work even harder.
You can really customize the space.
Correct,
right?
customize the space. Let's say today, if it's a condo unit, the space is really like that. There's no
There's
way
only so much you can do.
I can pull additional water point to a non-ensuite room. So that's why we have different class. And we think that works very well for us because we know our member comes from different backgrounds and different budget. So it's good to give choices to our members. So just take a step backwards, right? Internally, the assembly piece, we always got the vision, a big broad vision. And also someone will joke about it. We say that today a foreign student come to Singapore to study, doing his or her undergraduate program. They don't have a lot of budget because the parents already paying a lot of school fee for them. So where do they, if they got a $750 budget, where can they stay? They stay in my student accommodation. 4 bed to a room. We call it campus by the SME place. So that is my student accommodation. Our vision is always that after they graduate, they found a job in Singapore. Maybe S-Pass. So their starting pay is $4,500. Then you stay in my cap light, $1,200. 3 years
the whole
later,
value chain.
whole value chain. 3 years later, you got promoted, you got your EP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Upgrade.
You don't want
Upgrade
to squeeze the other people
lux
already. Yes,
Pet
yes.
lux. Wow,
Okay.
very happy I got my own ensuite bathroom. Don't have to share with
So
anyone
within
anymore.
your ecosystem, you have that stream of aspiration.
Yeah.
Correct.
And provision of,
Even they have the standard plus prime.
yeah.
It's a got breakdown.
Correct.
And we got this another category called tap homes. Tap homes means it's a private studio apartment, got the 2-bedroom apartment. So these are spaces whereby for people who are probably, after which you met the love of your life, also foreigner, 2 of you get together.
Hopefully at assembly place, right?
Enough of co-living already. Eugene, do you have any private apartment for me? Yes, we have. We
Wow.
even got the 1-bedroom penthouse. We even got the 2-bedroom private apartment. So 2 of them share income, stay together. So we hope that we can journey with them at the point in time they become a Singapore citizen, they buy their first
Wow.
BTO, or eventually they say that, okay, my time in Singapore is up, let me go back to my own country. So we hope to journey with them and be their accommodation of choice.
Yeah.
From a student all the way to the point in time they work until they leave Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that's the grand vision of what we want to achieve as a company.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also why the game is getting very difficult, because you guys are, right? You essentially, you take up the whole value chain, right? And I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's just what it is, right? So from maybe give us some numbers to play around with, right? Because
Yeah.
I know a lot of property investors, they always think from a PSS standpoint, right? So if I want to develop the place, maybe at a light and a lux type of arrangement, what is the kind of capex investment that I gotta do, per square feet?
Okay, capex wise, to be honest, at our stage right now, capex is not expensive for us because we do have the
You
volume.
have scale
Yeah,
already.
of course.
Yeah.
So we work with some furniture company, and for us, we have our own in-house designer. So once you have volume, it's easier for you to negotiate with the supplier.
Yeah, of course.
So sometimes we work with a 3 to 4 furniture supplier. In fact, like all furniture supplier, right? They always got stocks that they want to clear but they can't sell. So, and they will say that, Eugene, why not you take all these things? I sell you at a very, very cheap price because in Singapore, we all know real estate is expensive.
Yeah.
Warehousing is also expensive. So for them, I rather sell to you at a cheap rather than
To have to store it.
to store it, because the cost of storing is very expensive if you can't dispose of this goods. So we do have that volume. So we take anything. So our in-house designer will look at the furniture and design in accordance to the shape and form of the furniture.
Fair.
So capex wise, I think we can manage it quite well. But if today, ballpark figure, if you say that I want to dress up an empty room, okay, it depends on whether, let's say we start with tap light. That means you just put the mattress, you just put the bed frame, a wardrobe, if there's no wardrobe, and you put a study table, study chair. I think all in you can probably around 2,500, you are able to get it dressed up, because to be honest, furniture these days are not expensive. Yeah.
So what will be the depreciation? How often you need to, reinvest the capex?
Okay, so for us, we have managed the business for 5 years. So let's take some of the assets which I started 5 years ago until now.
Yeah.
Okay, I think bed frame is very hardy. Bed frame, I think 5 years on, I don't remember we changed any bed frame. There's 1 or 2 is due to defect. We changed out the 2,000 over space that we have, but not a lot. The main issue is always probably your chairs. Because chairs sometimes over time, different people use it. Some people a bit rough, so the screws start dropping off lah. But then again, we don't have a lot of furniture that gets spoiled.
Fair.
To be
So
honest.
so 5 year is quite okay. You amortized over the course of 5 years. The capex does not sound very high.
No, it does not sound very
from that
high.
level lah.
Correct.
Okay.
The only thing that we change constantly is, example today, Justin stayed in our asset for 3 months. We always provide fresh linen. Yeah. So after that, when Reggie take over this space again, right, we will not wash the linen. We will give you a fresh set of linen, that linen will send you to the recycle center.
Okay.
So that's what we do. This is part of some of our the
Sustainability,
we do. Pillow wise, we will also change. So these are the only part of the operating costs we do lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's different from hotel. A hotel you stay down 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. You can always wash it. But sometimes especially when it's white linen, right?
Yeah.
Over time, it will turn yellow.
Yeah.
So imagine I wash it. Reggie come here, how come it's so yellow?
Yeah.
You don't find it comfortable. So to us, hygiene is one of our top priority.
Okay. Fair.
That's one of the running costs.
Yeah.
Actually, Eugene, if I can ask, so we talk about some of these capex that you've got to put in and all that. Maybe from us as an agency representing agents who represent some clients who may have interests, mom and pops who want to do their own co-living business. What are some of the challenges that you've seen in the years, and especially in today's setting? Is it still a worthy business proposition for a smaller time retail investor to look at co-living, coming from the whole capex and then also from a return perspective?
I think, Justin, this is a very good and valid question. We saw that this is year 2024. Remember year 2022, there was a lack of supply.
Yeah.
The rental went crazy. I mean, we saw news article whereby 50 viewers, offer without viewing the unit, price war because there's a lack of supply. HDB rental just went through the roof. As an operator, do we get benefit? Of course, we do benefit. But it was really because of this surge in terms of demand. It's very seasonal, right? In year 2023, early last year, we saw a lot of retail investor dabbling into co-living.
Because of this seasonal surge.
And we saw also salesperson, attending courses, I mean, we saw some online course. So sometimes when I say the online course, I mean, I'm just be very open. I saw some online course that say, okay, you are teaching salesperson or general public to actually own real estate, multiple real estate. You own 10 real estate without paying stamp duty, all this. Come on. I mean, it's very transparent, right? You don't own the asset. It's merely, you are renting and you're subletting it. In a good market, everybody make money. Sure. We are happy for everyone. So we saw a lot of salesperson attending courses like that, and moms and pops watching YouTube, saw the advertisement come out, start attending course, say, okay, I want to make that additional few $100, right?
Yeah.
And we all know, late last year, starting from July, the market, it was a short window of massive growth. Short, probably around 7 months, 8 months. Last year, July onwards, everything start coming down.
Yeah.
The assembly place from year 2022, in fact, from early last year, January, to the whole of last year, we never take stock. We never go into the market and start taking position. I only do management contract. I never go and take master lease. Because, Justin, we are in real estate more than 15 years. We know that there was a demand surge because COVID project got delayed. And we know very well that the whole of last year, a lot of big mega projects start getting TOP. Once the supply start coming on stream, right, we all know that the rental price will come down and will stabilize. With supply coming up, your occupancy will take a hit. So late last year, from July onwards, I received so many calls from salesperson, from moms and pops coming to me and say that, Eugene, can you take over our portfolio? Because we are losing money.
Very short seasonal change.
Short season. Yeah. And when I look at their portfolio, I look at them and I say, it's not that I don't want to help you because you are entering into a very bad list.
Yeah, your starting point was off already.
It was off.
Yeah.
And I pity them because today I was telling some of the salesperson, I say that, hey, you are in the trade. You should use your skill set, use your time and space to actually do deals. Not getting yourself involved in operational
business,
matter. I say that for me, we are at that scale of 2,000 keys.
Yeah.
It's okay for me to take a 5-10% hit. I will still make because I got skill.
Yeah.
So let me do some sums. I got one classic example of this salesperson coming to me. He took on 5 condo unit because attending some courses.
His own endeavor, one person.
Yeah, one person. 5 unit. 5 unit, 20 rooms.
Okay.
So one of the unit he rented during the peak of the market, a four bedroom condo, right?
Yeah.
He
So you
rent
lock in
at
a very high rent.
$7,500
Wow. Okay.
and have not include capex yet. Let's take capex aside.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
assume that he can take his furniture right and put
Yeah.
at his relative house,
Yeah.
you know, or he can sell it in Carousel, I don't know. Let's take that aside. 7,500 divided by 4, that works out to be around 1,750 per month. That is your cost already.
Yeah.
So during the good old days, okay, you can rent out probably $2,000 to $2,300,
Okay.
you know, per room. And you need to rent your fourth room is the one that make money.
That's the cream lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the cream. But a lot of time is that is best case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in today's market, when rental prices drop, even you need to rent 3.5 room,
Yeah.
then you can make money.
So your baseline cost has shifted.
Has
Your
shifted.
bottom line has shifted lah.
And so today, as a retail investor, I end up stressing over two things. Will my rooms get occupied? I got 20 rooms. When I do my calculation, as a whole basket of 20 rooms, my last 3 rooms is the one that make money. 17 room to break even. It's very stressful because suddenly you got to pay rental, right? Let's assume that each unit they pay around 6 to 7. Let's say it's 6,000 times 4, $24,000. The kind of stress that one has to go through.
Yeah.
Especially salesperson, you should be
Yep.
using your time and space to go and do deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first thing you have to worry about occupancy. Secondly, operation.
Yeah. That's the part.
Who is going to do the cleaning for you?
Operation is a headache.
Yeah.
People that never play any
Yeah.
game in operation, they don't
Yeah,
understand
who is
how
going to do the
crazy
cleaning
it
for you?
is.
Then what about suddenly someone call you, your tenant call you in the middle of the night and say that, hey, my aircon leak, you got disrupted. And you look back, you look at your right, look at your left, you got no back-end support to support
Yup.
you. Because then you start to ask yourself, should I hire a handyman? It
Then-
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You pay a handyman.
Not
maybe
at that scale,
Yeah,
like.
not at that scale. So
Yeah.
a lot of them are going to some of this trouble. And I got one company, I don't want to mention name, came into the space during the peak of the market, an overseas company.
Okay.
So yesterday sent me a list. No, late last year, come to us and said, Eugene, we are exploring to sell the company. Do you want to buy? I look at the numbers. No, I won't buy. Firstly, I won't buy because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Secondly, I keep quiet on them. 3-4 months later, come to me and say, okay, you don't need to buy anymore.
We
Maybe
give it to
you
you."
want to take over. I say, I also don't want to take over. Yesterday, they come to me and say, I novate the contract to you.
Wow.
All the 50 over contract. We look at the numbers. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So you're taking over liability. instead.
Liability. And we look at it, we shake it and we pity them because they entered the market when it was at the peak, which when they do not understand real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which is very sad. I think downstream over the next few months, more and more people are going to get hit because every other week I receive calls for help. They say, Eugene, can you take over some of our assets? I don't want to play anymore already because it's causing me too much stress at night. I can't sleep. It's affecting my work. But I look at them, I say that it's not I don't know help you. You enter into a bad list. So my advice to them, I told them that why not you speak to the landlord? If they allow you to walk out the contract, you forfeit your security deposit. But these days, will
Yeah.
the landlord agree?
Yeah.
No, I rent to you at 6,500 at the peak. But today, as a landlord, I'm also quite savvy. I go back to the market now, maybe I can only achieve 5,500. Why would I want to let go of this very good deal? And they hold on to this baby until some of them, the lease probably will end in year 2026. So I really pity them.
Wow.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
crazy.
It is so, and to all the retail investor, I mean, if you want to get, I always tell people, you want to enter into this space, it's not say you cannot, but you need to have skill. Firstly, you need to have skill. Secondly, you really need to know what co-living is all about. Today, the barrier of entry is very, very high. People expect more. Example, some of the salesperson, when they got 5 to 6 unit, right? Are you going to run community event? Today, the tenant, they Google co-living operator in Singapore. I'm very sure that me and 2 to 3 of my friendly competitor, we are all friends.
Friendly competitor.
They all will come out.
Yeah.
They will do well. We will do well because we have that skill set and we have got that big infrastructure. A lot of people do not know that I got a team of 4 in-house technicians. I got a van. So every day, my van will deploy my 4 technicians to different parts of Singapore solving ticketing issue.
Yeah.
Aircon
Which they are
leak,
countless,
like
of course.
which is a lot because you got 2,000 key, you bound to have issues. And we even got my own project team. And to all the retail investor, if you've seen all the classes, everything, ask you to do all these, you own unit without having to pay ABSC. Please study the market a bit more because it's not that straightforward. And please do not go into the trap. Another thing, which I advocate. When a lot of landlords, they come to me, they always, these days, they look at it, say, hey, Eugene, you can add room, add additional room. For us, TAP is not in the business of adding partition room. We don't do that.
Okay.
Because under BCA regulation, I would like to advise to all the investors, do not rent out to anyone who take your 3-bedroom unit and 3-bedroom unit, right? A typical 3-bedroom condo, and take out the living room and craft out another 2-room. Do you know that one is illegal under BCA guideline? Because all living and dining need to be naturally ventilated. A lot of people do not know. So what if something happen? What if there's fire happen? What if SCDF go down to do an audit? You as a landlord will get into trouble. So for us, the assembly place, we hold true to our ethos that we are not in the business of chopping additional room. We don't do that. So for me, we look at the asset. If we take a master lease, the entry price need to be right.
Yeah.
That's why we have never taken a single unit in Tanjong Pagar and Marina Bay in District 1. Why?
Because entry prices were wrong already.
Entry prices because we know ourselves very well. As a co-living space, right? There's only a limit how much can I charge.
Yeah.
At the ensuite room, at best, 2,008 is almost hitting it.
Yeah.
Once I cross $3,000, there's a lot of choice.
Yeah.
The tenant can go and stay in the studio apartment. Maybe not as prime, but in city fringe, there's plentiful. And Singapore is not big. People are used to travel and our transport network is so well connected. So that's why we never take a single asset in the Marina area in Tanjong Pagar. Because today, a Marina Bay area, example, a 3-bedroom, you can fetch at $7,500. Then you divide it by 3. And we are not in the business of cutting additional room from the living room.
Yeah.
You look at that, $2,000 over is already my cost. Really.
So your per room premium needs to be well above $500 to make it worth the while.
To make it worthwhile. In fact, sometimes have to be more than $500 because we are
the value of services,
including utility and Wi-Fi.
Correct.
Yeah, fair.
So these are the things. So a lot of people don't understand, start taking up all these units. And I got a shock. I saw one salesperson who sent me his portfolio, asked me for help. I look at it, I do not know how to help him. The only thing I tell him is that I told him, hey brother, you try your best to fill up the room, okay? Don't ask for the sky. Just go for break even. Because you're now asking for $3,500 per room. 3,500 times 0 is 0, but your 2,500 times 1 is 2,500. I say, hold on to it, negotiate with your landlord. If you can get out of the contract, forfeit the security deposit, go for it. Lesson learned. But then I tell them, focus your time and space in doing real estate deal. So that whatever deal you make, you cover a bit. That's the best outcome I can advise because the lease run until 2026, a lot of them.
Fair.
They sign a 3 years.
3 years long.
Yeah, and some of them some lease they sign a 5 years because they think that the market will continue to go up. That's why I'm always very upset when I saw marketing video of people trying to teach you how to
sensationalize this whole market.
I mean, don't, because these are hard-earned money. So your moms and pops start going into this space and all start regretting. So recently I saw less and less of all this promotional video anymore.
Got other promotional video coming. Now they promote other things. There's a cycle. There's always a cycle.
I think in Singapore, business is already very competitive. But I always feel that in Singapore, whatever business you want to do, you need to have skill.
Yeah.
If you don't have skill, unless you are in a very niche market, then you can. But accommodation, real estate, the fundamental is always there. It's the same, right? You pay for land price that's too high. You are over bullish, you sell, you also got issue. You got a 5 years timeline. So all these fundamental never change. So we hope that, I also hope that I see that retail investor, you be a bit more careful. Yeah, ask yourself a bit more question. Ask yourself that, hey, sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. I mean, the assembly place, we got 2,000 keys now. Do I have my struggles? Every day I'm facing operational issue.
Yeah.
There are people look at me from the outside, wow, you're doing very well. Your company has grown over the past 5 years, from how much to how much. We are in the news. We're in the front page news. People say that, wow, we secure a lot of contract. But a lot of people do not know the pain and struggle that we have gone through on the day-to-day.
365 days a year.
365 days, because once you reach that skill, it's not about sales and marketing anymore. Because our occupancy is actually quite strong because of our brand.
Yeah.
But we have done that well during the first 2-3 years of building the business. So occupancy rate, I'm not so worried. Do we take a hit during the first 6 months of this year? Yes, occupancy drop. Our pricing also have to moderate. But we are okay because last year, we failed to go into any contract.
Yeah.
We were very, very disciplined. We were so disciplined that even my team come and ask me, Eugene, we're not taking in new stock.
You're not missing out?
Yeah, I say no, I don't want to take. Because I was working for a developer before.
Yeah.
I was from the agency before. I know that last year, there will be 5 to 6 mega project that's going to TOP. And when that come on stream, we know that everybody will get affected. So we were very disciplined in that. But a lot of people were jumping in. A lot of people were jumping in. So for us, what we do last year was that we tell ourselves that, okay, we never take any new stock. Let's continue to keep our occupancy at the optimum. So early this year, to be fair, our rental dropped. Our occupancy also dropped. In the good old days, we were 98% occupancy.
Wow.
And I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
My friendly competitor all hit that kind of numbers. But this year, I think we are across 90.
So even at your scale,
Even
you're
our
doing at
skill,
that.
it's quite scary. If I hit 90% occupancy, I got 2,000 keys. 10% is 200. 200, I assume I times $1,500 is $350,000 of pure profit gone every month. So the number can be quite staggering one. So when I look at the retail investor, I can imagine their stress, because to me, I'm very clear. We're all very clear that if demand drop, as an operator, I will put myself up in the front to tell the very tight demand that you come to me, because I am one of the top operator in Singapore. So we tell ourselves that we be one of the only exclusive choice for the market.
I can compress
It
rates
compress
to fight
those
with you.
that 5 room, 10 room, got no community event and no back-end support. And tenants are getting a bit smarter these days, a bit more savvy. They want the finer things in life. Today you go Google, you go and see, people want choices. I mean, if today we go to a retail shop, they only sell a few clothes, right? You'll walk up. But today, if you go in, wow, the skill, the mass, there's a lot of choices. You are able to attract more people.
Yeah.
Today, you go to our website, a lot of choices.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, compared to you go to 4 to 5, you just put on the platform and just start selling rooms. Yeah, it's very tough.
Fair. Okay, but I want to push you a little bit on that, right? Because what you're talking about is someone coming in to sign a master lease, and then after that, they break it up into doing a co-living, right? That's kind of the model.
Yeah.
But I think from a property investor standpoint, even what Justin was saying, right? I think there are a lot of people with like a few properties of their own, right? And can be also a reason why they have this. Maybe the parents passed down, maybe they enter the market earlier, right? And then they're looking at, can I generate more yield out of it, right? So they own the property. They are just servicing the mortgage, right?
Yeah.
So these type of people coming in, how would you advise them to join the game other than join you lah?
Okay. So I always advise, especially asset that's passed down from generation. And a lot of them, probably the audience here, you may not be in the real estate trade, you may be in manufacturing, you may be F&B, but just that your previous generation, they bought asset really at a very low price, and you got and you benefited out of it. So when it comes to assets like this, especially shop houses, a lot of shop houses, right? So I always advise the real estate owner to actually work with one of the operator. Yeah. Not necessarily me. Of course, you want to come to me, I'm more than happy. So
Flash the QR code on the screen.
QR code. Yeah. So why work with operator and work with a bigger operator? Reason is because most of the bigger operator they have their own project team. They have their own in-house architect. They have their own in-house project manager. So when you allow them to manage, you let the expert tell you what to do. So we always tell all our investor, right? So we work with a lot of family office who own asset. So just one example. So before they come to us, they talk to architects, consultants. A lot tell them
they try to do it themselves
tear down, rebuild. So we told them, actually no. Why do you want to tear down, rebuild? There's this very big thing called readaptive use. Because what is your objective? If your objective is to spend the least to increase the return.
Yeah, that's my objective, yes.
It says everybody objective, right? Why do you want to tear down to rebuild? So maintain the structure, maybe we spend minimum to renovate. Then they will say, why? Why? Because you need to look at your target audience. Because those who you rent out to, their budget 1,500 to 2,500. Do you have to do very nice ID, Versace wall tiles, the Medusa head? No need, right? That one is for your own house. So we always tell them, keep it simple, clean, hygiene, simple is the best. So shortest period of time to turn around the asset so they can drive the yield up. So that's always our advice to all the asset owner who hold on to all these assets. Like historically, shop houses. We manage a lot of shop house in Jalan Besar area and Little India area.
So that's the one I saw.
Was it that area?
Jalan Besar.
Jalan Besar. Traditionally, a lot of those shop houses, level 1 is commercial. So you rent to, a lot of them rent to hardware shop. Because that's how Jalan Besar is. You got the back alley in like Sarawi Road, a lot of them can rent out to all those, very dodgy, massage parlor, all these things. I mean, that's how it is in the area. Then so once you rent out to, example, a hardware shop on level 1, which is what is happening in a lot of shop houses or mama shop. Level 2 are residential, a lot of them. And a lot of them can't rent out level 2. So who they rent out to? They rent out to a lot of them foreign workers. So what we did is that a classic case, a row of shop houses in Jalan Besar, we actually rejuvenate the place. We actually start with on top first. On top, we build up very nice 15 rooms of very beautiful co-living space. So historically, one shop house on the top, you are lucky to rent out $3,000 per month. Or just because we were all salesperson, $3,000, $3,500, you're very lucky. Then level 1, you can rent out to
the hardware shop.
To a hardware shop, everything. One shop house owner, probably they can rent out their level 1 around maybe $4,500 to $5,000 to a hardware shop. Let's assume that the level 1 is around 1,200 to 1,500 square feet. Level 2, you rent out to $3,000. So what we did was that we helped the asset owner to convert level 2, one of the shop house, to be around 4 rooms. 4 rooms. So 4 rooms, what we did was that we rent out the 4 rooms, right? Each room average at $2,000. $8,000.
8,000 already.
Even after they pay me my management fee, right? They are more than double of what they have achieved previously. But because level 2 now is a very nice co-living space, level 1, they are able to attract
a different tenant
kind
as well.
of tenant.
That's a very nice way of saying level 1 cannot be a hardware shop. I don't want to walk out of a hardware shop.
In fact, our Jalan Besar, it did became a hardware shop eventually, but we rent out. So to the tenant, right, when they want to do business, we also realized that, Eugene, I also want to spend money to renovate my hardware shop nicely. But your level 2 like that, how I renovate? So when we did that, we got a hardware shop that spend money to renovate the level 1 shop house because we got 3. They took 2 units. The other 2 units are rented to a hardware shop that they become a showroom for high-end sanitary ware.
Okay. That's not a hardware shop. That's a showroom.
Showroom. But before that,
hardware shop is very, very
showroom.
But before that, it was really a mix of hardware shop, but you sell a bit of toilet bowl, you sell a bit of everything. So then level 1 rental also increased.
Of course.
We got another classic example in Owen Road. Historically, level 1 also hardware shop. No, they were paying around 3,000 for the 1 bedroom, for the level 1 unit. Level 2, right, cannot rent out.
So empty.
Empty.
No cash flow at all.
No cash flow. And once a while, they rent out maybe 6 months, $2,000.
Okay.
So we convert level 2 to be 4 rooms. And level 1, we eventually rent out to a gym called Homeground Gym. And it's paying around $6 per square foot.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
They are paying around $6,000
Yeah.
compared to the previous tenant. On top, 4 rooms, we're renting at around there's 2 rooms that's come with attached bath, 2 room, there's shared bath.
Yeah.
The attached bath during when the market peak, right, we were renting at 2,008 per room.
Wow.
But these days when the market moderate, I still managed to rent around 2,002 per room.
Okay.
No lift, no facilities. So this is the upside that I would like to encourage asset owner to embark on this journey, because this is how we can unlock the value of an asset. And once we do that, right, the asset owner is very happy because
You don't
year
have
on
to
year they do
sell.
valuation.
Yeah.
Once they do valuation, the value of a property also goes up as well.
That's the thing about commercial property, right? Like once you can engineer yield, and from there it reflects on the property
valuation,
value itself. Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
So for the past 5 years, I think we have managed close to 35 of such project shop houses. Yeah, so we are quite familiar in that, and we realize that the value of all these shop houses can be unlocked just by doing minimum work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shop house owners, that's the priority lah. You will recommend them.
Also, single building owner, because there's a lot of single building owner, 5-story,
Yeah.
walk-up apartment. There's a lot of opportunity. There's so much opportunity. Yeah, we just converted one early part of this year, 4-story walk-up apartment, total 24 units. So total we can do around 80 rooms. So that whole asset, the family owns it for many years. So for the past 10 years, they rent out to this operator who in turn do a lot of partition work, everything.
Right.
Rent out to, I don't want to mention. So it's very badly run. So that property, the asset, the second generation approached me, even before last year, and say that can we explore to do something. So it took me a while to explain to them, say that, hey, look, you got a beautiful asset, it's freehold. So it's about time you rejuvenate the place. So we look at it as an operator, we happen to rejuvenate. I remember the first time I went into the building, I gagged. Because the place was so run down. It was so unkept, but the location was fantastic. So it took us 4 months to help them to turn around the asset. And today, when the first generation went past there, the parents are so proud because they say, finally. Because the name of the project is named after their ancestor village back in China. So there's a lot of emotional attachment to it. But somehow, because when one is not in the real estate trade, you could be in manufacturing, you could be in F&B. Owning asset is just a way of life for the Chinese. Yeah, and a lot of this asset is already being fully paid for.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, okay, every month I have a 40,000 renter. I'm happy. I don't have to do anything. Versus, hey, maybe you uplift the asset, spend the lease, use the operator project capability, and in return, you can get a 70,000, 80,000 rental.
Yeah.
It double.
So sometimes you get a doubling effect.
And also, we are very mindful that how long you can take back your capex. So we work out all this feasibility study on behalf of all the asset owner, and we kind of try to understand what is their view, what is their strategy, what is important for them. For some asset owner, we know that what is important for them is that they want to drive the yield up very high, and they want to sell.
Yeah,
For
exit,
for exit purposes.
Yeah.
So those, we got a different kind of strategy.
Yeah.
Those is that I want to hold for legacy. I want an asset that my downstream generation is very proud of. I got this asset owner with quite interesting. He told me that Eugene, this asset has been here for 30 over years. No, I'm not proud of the condition of this asset. Yeah, it's already fully paid for, but I know that my timeline is also up, and probably another 10 years, So I do not want what I have done to this asset previously, it become an issue for my second and third generation. So can you help me to repurpose it so that one day when I'm gone, right, I pass this site nicely to the next generation without them having to worry. So at least in my lifetime, I get to see how this asset is being turned around. So we got a lot of different reason why asset owner, how they want to change their asset. So some of them is that, okay, Eugene, anyway, I've earned enough rental income for the past 10 years. This asset I bought is so cheap. So now it's time for me to spend a bit of money to rejuvenate the place. So I'm at a stage of my life whereby money is not the most important. I just want to make sure that the asset is nicely done up. Then I pass it on to my next generation. So we got a lot of different strategy that asset owner wants to achieve in terms of the outcome. So we work very closely with them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's a lot of good stuff, right? Any last things you want to ask?
No, but I think perhaps to the audience out there, for some of those who are lucky asset owners,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that perhaps they have in their inventory now that they maybe are able to unlock this value, right? That you can tell them what are some of the fundamental things that you would look at as an operator to help them to unlock. Say I'm holding on to an asset now, but I don't know what I'm actually holding on to, right? Maybe you can tell me as an operator, as an investor as well, are there certain things that I should look out for in my current portfolio that can help me to unlock? Say if I have something in a good location, certain type of layout, certain type of floor plan messing that can help actually leverage on this business to really utilize that yield.
Okay, the first thing, wherever I visit an asset, when I meet the asset owner, I always meet them on site. So the best thing to look at is to look at your surrounding. Example, you own a raw shop house, you start to ask yourself a bit of question, because you do not know what you do not know most of the time. So as an asset owner, I look at this shop house, then you look at surrounding, then you ask yourself, how come your neighbor have a rear extension? How yours is a original 2-story? Then we have to look at the URA regulation master plan and look at the zoning. Firstly, whether is it historical conservation shop house. If it's historical conservation shop house, then you can't do rear extension. But it's a secondary conservation, then you can do a rear extension. And that's when you can unlock the value. You can increase GFA, this and that. That's when this is exciting. But another thing, even though you're excited, you need to pay capex money. There's downtime.
Yeah.
So there's things that you have to ask yourself, are you willing to go through that process?
Yeah.
Because that process, I always tell people that redevelopment is more straightforward than A&A work. Yeah. So the A&A process can be 2 years, because if it's a shop houses, you're going to go through various departments. URA, not just URA department, planning department, also conservation department.
Yeah.
And some of the facade, you have to restore it to its original grandeur, get the archive out from NLB through conservation department. So it's a long string of process. Even before you can start work, right? The process to get your PPWP can be 3-4 months. And shop houses is even more tricky. You can only start when you get your WP. Some work you can start PP, you can start your work. But conservation, shop house, WP, then you can start work. The process is actually quite long. So are you willing to wait out? So this is for shop house owner. So for some of the building owner, pure residential, then you look at surrounding. Mine is a 5-story. How come this one can do 15-story, 12-story? Then you have to ask yourself, so what is your outcome? Or is it an opportunity for you to unlock? Sometimes it's not just about die must pass your asset to an operator to do co-living. So sometimes it's like, hey, maybe I can redevelop. Or maybe it's time for me to unlock the asset because I didn't realize that the plot ratio has changed. Because I only said 30 years ago, I also don't know what is master plan. So maybe now it's time I can actually sell this plot of land to a real estate developer who can in turn redevelop this to a new project. So instead of you getting your hands involved, right, which you do not have that capacity and that knowledge, right, then that's when you can unlock your value. So I always advise people, real estate owner, look at your surrounding first. Look what has happened over the past 10 years. Because a lot of asset owner, a lot of them, they own a lot of asset, but they don't go down to take a look at asset. They just, because all these are historical assets, so cheap. They bought it so cheap that time. A shop house probably 20, 30 years ago, less than $1 billion. Maybe a few $100,000. So they already paid for. So to them, it's as long as the tenant pay me rental. And some of these tenants have been there for very, very long time. And you ask yourself question whereby, hey, has a tenant shortchanged you in terms of rental? And sometimes we talk to the landlord, over time, 10, 15 years, they got a very good relationship with the tenant. They also don't want to increase the rental. So there's many moving parts. So always look at your surrounding first.
Okay, good.
Great tip.
Great tip. Thank you. So if our audience, if they would like to connect with you, where's the best place to connect with you?
Okay, you can go to the Assembly Place website or just Google. Can go to our Instagram page. We got under the Assembly Place. Yeah, and you can always DM us through there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. And awesome. We'll see you next episode. Bye.